Wolves. Copenhagen Wolves are one map down against Verygames. They have to win. It's on Inferno, the map that they claim to be strong on. They claim that they can do it. Well, against the Verygames side, that's going to be a real struggle for them. And they will have a lot to do. Fetish gets himself the opening grenade, and that's what it takes for Copenhagen Wolves. They did win the pistol round last time out. We'll see whether they can convert it through. Scream gets himself a frag onto Nico. Device levels it back up as we go tit for tat with the frags. MBK pulls us back, and we're at 3-on-3. Both sides with a very low health player as Zipnix will push in. Smith's going to go and make the move across, and Dupree with the frag onto MBK, who's out for the count. And I like MBK a lot on that Dust 2 game. As much as he didn't get the top fragger, I felt he got the important frags in that round. And Dupree will push across, makes the jump in towards that B site, has Existence with him, I think. And actually the bomb is over on the other side. It's frag coming in, Smith has gone down, and now it's all in Existence, and he is on the wrong side of town. As the bomb will go down in A, courtesy of Fetish, with very few seconds left on the clock. And he is full health like none of his opponents, but he has a hell of a task ahead of him as he pushes in with that P250. Darts around the corner. Bomb flashes. Flash comes in as well, and Existence loses some of that health very quickly. Oh, can you believe it? Two double headshots going into the site now. He looks away from Fetish though, and Fetish is just going to wait. Use the clock, Fetish, and he does. He moves now, and he's down. But he's done his job. He used the bomb timer. Existence gave himself a real fighting chance with those two headshots. But Fetish played it by the book. And I'm joined by, is it a bird? Is it Thorin? No, it's Lopez. Welcome back.
So far, much better than average. So maybe he's been making up for Scream a little bit in a way.
Been enjoying life both with pistol and auto sniper, as we saw on Dust 2.
But that's not new.
And life with an auto sniper is always fun.
Yeah.
Whether you're at my
Just
level
ask
or
right.
his. Device is pushed up, and this is where Copenhagen rules have to do something different. They have to convert that pistol round into 3. As Scream is lying in wait. They rattle off a few shots in, and they've not added any variation in this. Verygames are expecting 2 players to come in. What the Copenhagen Wolves side haven't been able to do is they've left the ball on the dart, but the other 3 players haven't added anything to this round, and with only 40 seconds left to go, they've not created any diversion up at A. The 2 players are actually pushed quite far up in mid-A, as Nico will lead the charge. The bomb has been escorted all the way up to Banana now. Nico will push in a grenade. He's going to get spotted, and maybe now they'll sense that there's a rotation happening, but as MBK gets himself the first frag, it'll take the fake away, and here we go. It's all on the man at the site. Who is it? It's Scream has been dropped. Frags on the other side. The bomb is going to get picked up and moved in towards that site, surely. Only 14 seconds left to go, though. Shox goes around the corner. Headshot onto Device. Bomb has been planted with very few seconds left to go. And Shox is going to have to do this 1-on-2 against Zipnix, who stops him. And Copenhagen Wolves make very hard work of a pistol round conversion.
Yeah, you know, Verygames, they're just so deadly on those second round ecos. They didn't even buy almost anything that round, aside from MBK, obviously, who got the sniper. Actually, I'll take that back. They actually did buy quite a bit. So that's my mistake. But regardless, Verygames very dangerous on those second rounds. It's almost like having to play 2 pistol rounds before you actually force them on a save round and get those freebies. So good start by Copenhagen Wolves. Last map they won the opening pistol round, but lost the following round. Now, obviously,
4 AKs and a P250.
Yeah.
Talk us through the thought process for Nico on a P250.
Yeah, I was just going to say, now they're going to get a 3-0 lead, which is a lot better than an opening map. So basically, Nico, he's the team's opper. He doesn't want to buy First of all, you shouldn't have 5 people by rifles early on anyways, because in case you lose a teammate, you can just have that person with a pistol pick up that AK or Galil or whatever gun that may be, and that way you get to save it, even if one of your players die. So you only lose the value of the armor or whatever, actually not even nades, just armor in that round. And Nico is saving for an op. He's going to be opping later on in this half, as Dupree gets a pair of nice kills there in the boiler room. So Nico is making sure he has plenty of money saved up for the first gun round, and if any of his teammates die, he's simply going to pick up that AK.
Well, there you go. Dupree has a hat trick, and money in the bank courtesy of that. MBK did stop his drop, but Zipnik's avenged. Bomb's going to be planted here, and Existence, we said he loved the pistol, but he's going to have to love it a whole lot more. He's got 37 points of health and is not going to be able to contend that bomb. And this will be 3 rounds to Copenhagen Wolves, and exactly what they needed after the break.
Yeah, and by the way, Nico now has picked up the AK of Dupree. So that's the big difference. Now, instead of losing that AK, Copenhagen Wolves actually get to keep it. Nico's going to hold on to it, and then he's going to drop it over to Dupree in the beginning of the next round and get himself the elephant rifle.
That's why we pay you the big bucks, Lurpus.
I'm not sure about that.
That's why we let you grow that mustache.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Which we're going to shave live on stream tomorrow.
No, we won't.
Come on.
I have to leave by like 4 a.m.
There you go. We can do it then.
No, the next night.
So we'll take it live on stream before the final.
No.
It'll raise a lot of awareness. The whole viewership will be like, why has Lurpus got that mustache? And you can get Robert, the CEO of DreamHack, to do it for you. I pretty much scripted this whole thing already.
I'm still not on board.
Come on. Joe Miller got his hair shaved live on stream in Singapore last year.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Be more like Joe.
There's only one Joe.
There is. And we miss him.
We do.
So.
Okay, so first weapon round of the second map here in the quarterfinals. Copenhagen Wolves down 1-0 in maps. We're watching Zipnix here. Now Shocks, who's going to see Zipnix any second in the hallway. Takes the head off of him. Second kill is going to go to Device, and Copenhagen Wolves are going to attack this A-bomb site.
And they've picked up 2 big frags there. Shocks and MBK both go down. Dupree helps himself to the life of Smith. And Smiths and that FAMAS have got a lot of work to do going in towards the A site as the 2 Frenchmen decide, you know what, we've got guns and we wouldn't do if we didn't save. And Verygames will lose their 4th round. But if they get away with 2 weapons, there'll be enough for them to really contend this next one.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you'd probably still save, but knowing Verygames and how they like to play, I actually assume they're just gonna buy next round. They're gonna get some FAMASes. Unfortunately for them, Existence only has a FAMAS to begin with, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be dropping any guns they can. NBK might wind up with a Nova once again, and they're probably gonna be contending for the round and just trying to get into the game.
So Copenhagen Wolves 4 up. Same facial expressions as they were when they were many rounds down in that first half. You said they were a very calm and collected bunch.
Yep, that they are, as seen on stream.
As seen on TV. And we'll see whether MBK can lead this Verygames side to victory. I thought, as I mentioned earlier, you got important frags on Dust 2. Obviously, Scream stole the headlines.
Yep. NBK's gone for the max 7, but Verygames have bought, like I said. So we'll see what they're able to do here. Smits once again on this over-rotation towards the B side early. Scream takes a head off of Device. Nice shot by him. And Copenhagen Wolves look to be falling back out of Banana. Doesn't seem like they actually know what they want to do yet. They're still sort of trying to find out what exactly it is Verygames are doing, and they're gonna base their decision on that.
And what information have they got at this point? They've lost a man. They haven't actually seen a great deal of action. Now they're going to see people just peeking on Banana Walkway. And they've isolated Nico actually all the way in there, and there are 2 guns trained on him. He doesn't know that, I don't think. But he's got some reinforcements coming his way. Dupree gets himself a frag onto MBK, and here we go. Scream's going to push in, and they're going to force the agenda here, and they back Scream to the hill.
Bomb's going to be dropped right there.
Frag comes in. Verygames with Scream gets himself a 2nd frag. That was the 3rd of the round for him, but they've lost him. Zipnix has got himself the important frag, and he and Dupree will quickly make their way around towards the A site where Shocks is lying in wait for them. And he is ready to open up onto Zipnix and that bomb, and that'll leave Dupree in all sorts of trouble. He's got 15 seconds, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Shox waits inside the house. No, he's just around the corner, picks up the bomb, gets out of there, and will run it over towards the site, where Existence is waiting with his FAMAS. And there he was so one-track minded at that moment in time. dupreeh, get the bomb, get it down, and if people are in my way, I may just die.
Yep. And by the way, Scream a triple kill once again. He's really showing up in this quarterfinal and doing a lot of work.
Big games, big players, and actually I can tell you what, Lupus, if I take a wee look, we were talking about can EG pick up Verygames. I can tell you that Comrade, the manager, is watching. Any messages for him?
No.
You and Scoots have both urged them on.
I think they'll know what to do. Okay, so some early damage dealt to Smits. Not a whole lot, just 21 health gone down. Copenhagen Wolves once again playing slow. Verygames not doing anything too aggressive. Scream still pushed up a little bit into Banana, but it looks like he's also going to fall back into the site now.
The Verygames side know that off the back of that round win, they can really turn the situation. If they lose this, it's going to become very expensive for them very quickly. Let's not lose sight of that, but Verygames don't think about losing.
No, that's not on their mind.
BK. Oh, he had it. I would have put my house on him hitting that frag, but here we go. It's going to be Scream moving forward. He's got 3 players jumping around that corner. dupreeh shuts down the danger man. Smith is going to move in and can't collect on that frag. The smoke blocks him out.
Look at the position of Existence.
The most dangerous tree in the world as Existence gets himself the frag. dupreeh, though, stops him from going anywhere. And actually, that was a time for Existence to wait a little longer if he was well shielded. But Shox is going to come in and make this a little harder. Lovely hit from Nico. But it's now going to go all the way down to MBK. Bomb planted, 1 on 3 for him. And he gets himself the AK that's on the floor and is going to go for this. As he looks for Nico, doesn't see anyone, and that buys himself, that buys the tease 10 seconds, because they couldn't see a single player. MBK had nothing to get an entry frag and nothing to get excited about, and in the end, he said, well, I may as well save this, and this is going to put us up at 5-1.
Yeah, that's a very good start by Copenhagen Wolves. 5-1, Verygames. They're still low on money, but, I mean, they might just once again go for the buy. I think they actually probably will go for the buy once again. But very good start for Copenhagen Wolves. Even though Inferno can be won on both sides, I actually think generally it probably favors the counter-terrorists a little bit. So, I mean, looking pretty good for the Danes. That's all we can really say. This has been
a massive turnaround for them. Go on, give us an update from the other game.
In the other game, Complexity are currently up 4-1 on the counter-terrorist side of Dust 2.
There you go. And who won map 1?
Astana Dragons won DE Nuke 16-9 after a 9-6 terrorist half.
There is the most emotionless match report possible from Lupus, and maintains his objectivity throughout. As we spy just a few pokes and prods from Copenhagen Wolves there. They've done this. They like to react their attacks. Their attacks are all, who's going to come at me where, and then go from there. There's dupreeh gets himself the frag onto Shox, and that'll open up the house for him. And we'll see MBK suddenly a little more concerned knowing that dupreeh's on the top. dupreeh has retreated and gets himself out of harm's way. Opening frag goes the way of Copenhagen Wolves. And what are they able to do with that? They've decided there may well be enough players over at the A site that it's worthy of rotating the bomb around towards B. Zipnik stops MBK from getting any information. MBK moving all the way out would say, yes, A is clear, we can push around towards B, but instead he's not able to do that. And Verygames, as you can see by Scream, rotating back towards spawn, have no idea because the bomb is walking in right behind him. And as are the Copenhagen Wolves, who rattle off a few shots. Zipnik's going to see some action. He's seeing all the fun as he downs Smiths and gets himself frag number 2 of the round. Bomb has been planted. Zipnik completes his hat trick and may well get number 4.
And he will get number 4. A quad kill by Zipnik. He's one of the players who I mentioned in my, I think it's the introduction part, as having had sort of a rough couple months in Copenhagen Wolves. He was by far Fnatic's best player in the previous team the Fnatic had that was mostly Danish. Ever since joining Copenhagen Wolves, he's been good, but he hasn't been the kind of player where he was in Fnatic, where it looked like he was sort of starting to become a star. Now, this tournament, I've actually seen him have quite a few good rounds, so it seems like he's probably worked on his game a little.
He's had a cracking entry into the quarterfinal. Coming big when it counts for Copenhagen Wolves, who need everything and more as they're a map down, and will look to try and take us to a third map.
Yep, and so far looking very good for Copenhagen Wolves. I mean, Verygames are saving right now, which, assuming Copenhagen Wolves can win the round, they're very favored to win. That would put them up 7-1, and that's a commanding lead.
You're never safe, though, with Verygames players connected to the server. You're never safe, regardless of what weapon they have. And it'll be MBK sat in the battle at bomb site. You can see this, and talk us through what Copenhagen Wolves do, because this round is no different. They like to have an eyesight on everything. They'll fire a few shots into a bomb site. They'll fire a few shots into a wall. They'll see what their opponent does. What's the methodology behind that?
Well, they don't want to take unnecessary risks. They know unless they walk into a big stack of Verygames or they just hit the craziest shot of all time, they're going to win because they have better equipment. So they want to scout out the bomb sites. They want to make sure they don't walk into a bomb site with 5 counter-terrorists waiting for them. So they sort of slowly take over the sites, and once they see a stack, they're just going to run all the way around. So they're basically just minimizing risk.
And for you as a player who's done that, because Copenhagen Wolves do this even when they don't have the equipment advantage, they're a very kind of passive attacking force here on Inferno in particular. What was your favorite style? Did you always go in and say, right guys, we're moving to B, we have our set calls, we're going to call them? Or how quickly could you make a decision on a sixpence and say, you know what, we've seen enough information, we're going to go here?
Well, actually, a lot of the time you have to make the decision really fast. So most of the time, it's sort of something you've already learned in practice where it doesn't even always have to be the caller making the call, because you usually have the same person scouting the site, and he's usually the one who gets to say how many people there are. Normally he would say how many people there are, but after a while, he's probably going to end up being the guy making the call because he has the most information. He's going to hear the most, and it takes much longer to say, I might have heard 2 more there, or whatever. So the guy scouting is just going to, okay, guys, just head over there.
And the guy scouting may well be the guy dying the most, and you could easily make a defense to say that Lurpus, the strat caller, was really the hero of the team. Yeah,
it's a nice way to put it.
It's a nice way to put it.
Touched.
I'm just trying to defend you. As Fetish, the strat caller for Copenhagen Wolves, leads them up. The hero of the team, as one Lurpus would say. And he will command his team in a 7-1 lead against Verygames here on map 2. Smiths has pushed a long way out. He comes looking for frag number 1. It's Trucks that we're going to see open up with 2 frags. Can't quite get the 4th, but he and Smiths combine for 4 frags between the 2 of them. Dupree all on his own. And Yumi and Dupree, a terrible movie, but almost a very romantic Counter-Strike story.
Almost. And this is a nice way. I mean, we often talk about what teams need when they're sort of losing. They usually either need to change the way they're playing, or they just need some individual performances to put them on board. And now we just saw Shoxy and Smits getting 2 kills apiece very quickly as Copenhagen Wolves came out of the hallway. And just nice play by Verygames, some individual skills there, and that just got him on board.
Verygames have Scream.
Exactly, by the way, how they won their first round with Scream's triple kill.
2 big famous frags coming in, and the Copenhagen Wolves have struggled to contend with existence. As Dupree wants to make me pay for that horrible joke in the last round, has gone up towards A. But this is a 3-on-5, and suddenly becomes a lot harder for the Copenhagen Wolves side as they get ready to push in now. Dupree is under fire there as he gets pinged down from Shocks, and Zipnik will get 1, but it's going to be Zipnik to go down. Fetish comes around from the back, and the hero has his moment. 2 big frags for him have turned this round right on its head. Scream and Existence have to recover the A-bomb site from Fetish and Dupree. Dupree, one of the players you do not want to go up against right now, as he is in tip-top form, but has been sighted going the, let's say, slow route in towards the pit, and took a bullet in the buttocks. Fetish gets himself frag number 3, can't get himself forward, it's all on to Dupree. Scream, man of the match so far versus Dupree, man of the Wolves so far, and he will go for it. Dupree delivers, and the Wolves can howl once more. It is 8-12.
8-2, and
8-2, yes, yeah. Not 8-12.
Yeah, 8-2, and Verygames, once again, somewhat low on money. They will go for the force buy because they're just not giving up any more rounds as long as they can afford reasonable equipment. But That must be annoying for Verygames because it looked like they were going to win that round following Existence 2 entry kills in Banana, but someone, I think there was a miscommunication because no one was holding the A-Rap flank, and Fetish was able to just get 2 free kills, and we even saw NBK writing some dots in a smiley face, so some frustration building up over on the French-Belgian side.
Well, this was not what the doctor ordered. They, one does 2 in their sleep.
Yeah.
And this was not what we expected to see. We were ready to kind of write the headlines. I saw you had the HLTV post already half written. Hey, Copenhagen Wolves rolled by Verygames, but that has not been the case come map 2.
Yeah, I mean, that can sometimes happen when you have too easy of a time in the opening map. You sort of let off your guard. You think it's going to be an easy match. It's not a conscious decision. No one's that dumb, but it just sort of happens. You can't really fight it if you feel like a game is too easy. So that might be something that is playing in, but at the same time, I mean, Copenhagen Wolves are just playing great CS.
Nico gets himself a big kill onto Existence, stops them pushing all the way down. Smithstow will have gone through, and with him pushing all the way down Banana, it meant that the A push was always going to be under a lot of pressure because they knew that there's no one coming B. And they will have a 2-on-3 after plant here in favor of Copenhagen Wolves. Smiths and Shocks to go through. It's Device that we're on board with, as Shocks will just pass this door. Device ready to come alive or not, and Smiths was right behind him, and he'll come out from the balcony. Dupree's in the sight, and the bomb ticks louder and louder. Shocks is going to have to go big here, and almost does. Dupree's in there on the other side as well. Tipnix is out. Dupree waits in the back of the bomb site, one-on-one for the second round in a row. Here he goes. Oh, lands it with a headshot, sealed with a kiss, and it is 9-2. Copenhagen Wolves, it ain't easy for them. They're losing a lot of lives, but they are racing away.
Yeah, they're just playing very good Counter-Strike. Like you said, Dupree with his second clutch, 1v1 clutch in a row, and Verygames are just not winning any of those close rounds that all seem to go their way on the opening map now, and that really is the difference. I mean, Verygames haven't looked like they had no chance. This hasn't been a one-sided match, as you would think if you just looked at the score. There's been a lot of close rounds.
Are you not entertained?
I'm entertained.
9-2 to Copenhagen Wolves, and they now do force a full save from the Frenchman. And this will just ease them into double figures, assuming they can get through it. Fetish gets himself the headshot onto Smith. Copenhagen Wolves calmly take mid behind A, ready to make their push now, and it'll be Shocks who comes in. Dupree is out. Devices leveled or re-established Copenhagen Wolves man advantage, and Dupree had no idea where that kill came from, and actually a lot of shots coming down from B. Existence to push in behind, and you see MBK does do some damage there. Only 2 players left standing for Verygames. That's their problem here. They may have done well, but they've been unable to make it count. They're going to chase out that B push. They spy it, and were they able to pick up Dupree's weapon? No, they weren't. Scream and MBK are in, and the bomb will move into that B site. Copenhagen Wolves taking it safe. They probably could have gone 4-on-2, but they'd rather go safe, get the bomb down, and then do after plant, and a 4v1 situation now. And it'll be just Scream to have to go. Well, absolutely ridiculous if it would have pulled this one off. 10-2.
10-2, and that's a commanding lead. Well, it's commanding, but if Verygames were to get 4 or 5 rounds here and the second half hits around, you can always come back on the terrorist side. You can simply break the counter-terrorist team's money. So this is by no means over, but it's a very good sign for Copenhagen Wolves early on. But these last 3 rounds of the half are super important still. Someone might think 10-2, it's KO. Go to the third map, but that's not the case at all. We've seen so many comebacks, even at this tournament, from scores such as 2-12, even on this very map.
If it gets to 10-5, then a pistol round conversion, all of your hard work could be undone and momentum could be back with the one team you don't want to be feeling confident. So Copenhagen Wolves have shown no signs of getting cocky, but Smiths very cockily comes up behind 2 and downs them. Fetish eventually stops him in his tracks, but it'll be Zipnik's getting down, and you can see that Verygames' individual talent can get them out of all sorts of trouble. And that may well be the case here. Fetish has got 2 kills in a row, but is unable to last out, and it's all on Dupree. This time 1-on-2 with 15 points of health against 2 fully health up Frenchmen, and I do not like his chances here. He darts around the corner. They know exactly where he is. No bomb to help him. No bomb planted to help him either. He has 44 seconds to go. They will have watched him go in towards this house. They may have assumed he's going the long way round towards B, but he's not going to do that. Is he?
Just 15 health points too, which is obviously key. Just one bullet from Existence's cult will take him out. But the thing is, if he can somehow take out Existence, then he'll be up against Shoxy's op, which makes it a lot easier for Dupree to potentially score a kill. Now, he's been the hero of the last couple rounds, winning 1v1s in a row. Now we'll see what he can do here as he starts entering the A site.
I can hear Tina Turner, "We Don't Need Another Hero," in the background, being sung in a very French tone. Verygames shut them down, and they get themselves on the board for the first time in a long old while.
Yeah, it really has been a while, hasn't it, since Verygames last won a round. But they are still in it. It's 3-10, like you said. If they're able to get 5-10 score at halftime, they win the pistol round, win fourth round, it's all tied up, and they have a massive advantage. So this game isn't over. You can win Counter-Strike matches with just 3 rounds in the opening half, easily. Especially if you're a team as good as Verygames. So if they can just get 1 or 2 more rounds, I actually don't think their odds are too bad for winning. If they can get 1 more round and the pistol round, I think it's as close as at least 40-60.
Well, there you go, the walking-talking mathematician, aided by Shox's AWP frag onto device there. He's going to try to add to his tally with Nico just down and spawn, and he's going to be joined by Fetish, who launches the nade over towards Shox, and that pushes him, forces him to fall back. But Nico is just in the side there, and this is going to be a tempting duel of fate. The bomb, though, neither here nor there. It's up in mid towards A. Smiths is going to see potentially some action. And Dupree rounds to the right-hand side of mid, where there are 2 players waiting in the pit. Fetish spies the flash coming in and starts opening fire as he waits for Zipnix to make the crossover past spawn. Zipnix is now all the way around and towards the site. He's got 2 very tough frags to find. He can't get them as MBK shuts down this Copenhagen Wolves attack. 2 frags for him, 1 for Smiths, and Nico now has a 1-on-5, which he isn't going to get past the first hurdle. We said at 10-2 that it could become 10-5.
And it looks like we're headed there right now. Once again, NBK getting 2 FAMAS kills there. And that's, that's all it takes. Even when your team is struggling, all you need is just one of your players, of whom they have 5 very capable as one, by the way, on Verygames. Just one of them to have a good round, and that can shift the momentum completely.
And who's the player for Verygames at the moment that's keeping them in this match?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's all they have going for them so far in this half. They haven't played that well as a team. Copenhagen Wolves have outplayed them strategically and even individually, but Verygames have had a couple good rounds on an individual level that have brought them within striking range. They're not out of it just yet.
Last round of the half, 10-4. Existence fires down. Copenhagen Wolves doing what they've done, I'd say, all map. They've started passive, waited to see if they could get a pick, and then followed it up. They haven't. They haven't garnered any information yet, and they've used some of their nades, but they're now going to decide to push the bomb up through mid towards A. And it'll be...
Look at this. Shox has actually cleared apartments after peeking with a pop flash, so he might actually get a lot of action here. Just
here comes the action, and he gets himself the first frag, and Zipnix goes down. Shox is going to fall back. Dupree's opened up onto Scream, and it's all going to kick off here on the A site. Fetish gets MBK. Smith has equalized up, and Shox goes big once more as Smith follows him up. It's all on Nico now for the Copenhagen Wolves. What was a good half is either going to be great or not what it was meant to be. Copenhagen Wolves look down towards the pit, and there is one there, but Nico's between left and right. He has players coming in. They hear the bomb going down. He's just going to go for it anyway. Doesn't decide he can fake either player out, and now he's got the bomb timer on his side, but a player to his right and left. Shox going for it. Here goes Nico. Frag number 1, yes, but Shox jumps up just at the right time, and Nico needed to get that headshot about 2 seconds earlier so he could flip 90 degrees and get in on a frag, but he couldn't, and Shox shut him down. 10-5 halftime.
Yep, and once again, a big individual performance there, this time by Shox, who scored 3 kills, including that 1v1 win, although not really a 1v1, more of a 2v1. But big individual performance, another 3-kill round by Shox, and you know, that's just how Verygames stayed in this game. They really were getting outplayed as a team. Their defense wasn't getting any stops, but their players individually gave them 5 rounds. They're still within reach, and if they win the pistol round, all of a sudden Copenhagen Wolves are the ones that are worried, even though they were just up 10-2 5 minutes ago.
Let's fanboy Dupree a little bit. Not only did he get 17 kills and was the top fragger in that first half, he also won a number of clutch situations, or added to a number of clutch situations for Copenhagen Wolves to get some of those tough rounds. We saw 2 1v1s for him that he won. Great play from him.
By the way, he was the top fragger for his team on Dust 2 as well. So Dupree has so far had a very good series. And just to give a little update on the other quarterfinal that is currently going on, Complexity have scored 9 rounds on the counter-terrorist side of Dust 2 to start off the second map. So strong start for the Americans after losing the opening map, and we'll see if they can hold this lead to tie the series.
And I think they've just won this round, because I hear American clapping behind us. So good stuff for them, as it is Verygames now with a bit of a question being asked of them. They're used to this. They had to climb the ladder to get to the position where they could finally topple NIP for the first time. So they're used to pressure situations just like this. And many of these players have been around for a long old time. But being 1 map up, having felt that they were, cruising into the semifinals, they now find themselves with a Copenhagen Wolves side who, on Inferno, have played really, really well. They're 10-5 up. It's Copenhagen Wolves to lose still. What do you say at this moment in time?
I still think Copenhagen Wolves have the advantage now, because Inferno does favor the counter-terrorist a little bit. But considering how good Verygames are, I think if they win the pistol round or the second round, then the momentum's going to shift and they're going to become the favorites in this game. But I think Nico actually is the key player for Copenhagen Wolves, because you can do so many things with an op on Inferno, and if he starts hitting his shots, regardless of Copenhagen Wolves losing the pistol round potentially, I think they have a good chance of taking this map.
Incoming at B, as Zipnix has got to sound the alarm. Smith gets himself the frag, and the French are coming as they knock down the door. On B, it's going to be Shocks to follow up with the next one. Fetish goes down, and they steamroll their entrance. MPK goes round to the side. Dupree says, "I'm not done yet, son." 2 big frags for him, 2 big frags for Nico, and it's all she wrote for Verygames. Smith's got 4 points of health and does connect onto the head of Dupree. He's going to have to go even bigger, though, with a bomb on his side. He pushes out and forces him out. He needs Device to get in and get the defuse. Where is Device? Here we go. Bomb has been defused. And Nico finished off the job. I tell you what, that future-looking ball you've got, Lopez. You said Nico was going to have a big round, albeit for reasons related to a weapon he didn't have, but 3 frags.
Yeah, and they've really been the 2 star players for Copenhagen Wolves in this series. Dupree, we talked about how good he has been. Nico getting 3 kills. They just cleaned up that site on the retake, even when it looked like Verygames were going to walk away with it. But it's not all over yet. Verygames have used quite a bit of money. They haven't gone for a full buy here in the second round, but they've used quite a bit of money, and we know just how dangerous they can be on these second rounds.
Well, they don't have any choice. They're 11-5 down. They can't allow a full Copenhagen Wolves conversion.
That they really can.
So let's see whether their talent can get them out of this tough situation. Nico did as he did last time, has passed on this buy, but has still got himself a headshot. Shocks goes down. Nico calls for reinforcements in a A this time. As Device gets himself frag number 2, it's Smith that goes down. Scream at his headshot. That's it, but the CTs have finished off the job. And Copenhagen Wolves might not look it, but they are coasting at the moment. 12-5, they stopped the rot from the end of that half.
They certainly did. Very good start after that retake. We sometimes talk about how big of a factor momentum can be, and for some teams it's a big thing, for some others not so much, but I do think it makes a difference when the win is one where you weren't supposed to win. It's not necessarily just like winning, but I mean that retake should have been Verygames this round, I think, most of the time. So I think things like that probably do give them just some extra motivation and confidence.
Dupree is pushed up here with that M4 waiting incoming, as Zipnix was engaging a little bit with players in Banana, but they haven't moved the bomb anywhere, just set at the foot of Banana there, as it'll be Nico to hold back. And he has passed on the buy again this time. But it'll be Dupree who sees it. And the Verygames side are gonna, looks like they're gonna push all the way up in B. Bomb moving up banana now, 4 players with it, and one just watching A. In fact, they counter. Trying to read a lot of the little dots on the mini-map, but they do counter-rotate, and they're gonna push the bomb now up towards the A as they change of pace. No movement, no reaction from the CT side regardless. As Copenhagen Wolves know, they can just lie in wait. And Nico's going to see some action here any second now. Can he open up with a headshot again? Oh, he does do some damage. I think it may have been the device that's helped him out as well. Dupree comes around the corner. He gets himself the frag on the shot. And Copenhagen Wolves now clean sailing here, surely. As Nico retreats, he needs a weapon to be trained on those guys. Device helps him out with a FAMAS onto MBK. Scream finally stops Nico, but Nico's done his job. And Device and that FAMAS have got 3 kills. Zipnix comes in with 1 more, and there you go. It's 13-5, and you'd be a very brave man now to not bet on a 3rd map.
It definitely does look like Copenhagen Wolves. Like you said, they're coasting, and they've looked very good ever since the map changed, really. I mean, the only rounds they've lost so far on Inferno have pretty much all been because Verygames has had some player chip in with 3 kills, or something that most of the time wouldn't happen. So very good play by Copenhagen Wolves. 13-5 lead is very good start. Lots of money on Copenhagen Wolves. They still have FAMASes, so they're going to be able to buy probably at least 2 times.
Lots of money on Copenhagen Wolves. You put the full Lurpis Esports Fund on Copenhagen Wolves winning this map?
Yeah, well, I'll do it.
There's got to be, what, 2, 3 bad CPL checks in there?
Yeah, actually, those checks never came. They don't even bounce. That would have been more
Novelty
fun.
checks.
Yeah. Novelty checks. I got those.
Here we go. It's going to be Nico to fall back towards spawn as a full French armada comes running up. First frag's going to be Dupree. Second frag's going to be Nico. And he's got action right in front of him. Go for the no-scope. Doesn't. And Dupree has got the 3rd frag. MBK's gone down. Device helps himself to the easiest frag he'll get all day. And Scream will avenge. We're in a 1-on-2 here with Scream now picking up the bomb. And they will have heard that as he makes his way back. Scream picks it, tosses the nade over towards the side, now makes his way in towards that site. Puts the code in and does his job. No pressure on him as he plants that bomb, but now the grenade come in and the pressure's about to happen. If there's anyone for Verygames you wanted, it would be Scream, but Fetish makes sure. And Copenhagen Wolves get the defuse, and that was the moment that the Lurpis Esports Fund that had just been betted on Copenhagen Wolves could have looked a little nervous. Yeah. But not now, 14-5. Those bounce checks are looking pretty good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that could have been one of those rounds that could have still changed momentum and really shifted how this map is going to play out, because winning that round would have definitely given Verygames some hope. First of all, I mean, they can still afford a buy now, but they would have had a full buy. Now NBK has no nades. Second of all, that would have gone a short way towards Copenhagen Wolves going broke and having to start saving, and that's a vicious cycle once he gets stuck into it. And Verygames just need to catch a break now. They can't allow themselves to lose any more rounds.
No pressure then. Smith's down to 19 points of health, and it'll be Shocks who pushes up. Dupree is lying in wait. Nico with the AWP trained in on mid, and no one makes the crossover as he will fall back. Fetish has the bomb. No bomb carrier with him. Fetish, in fact, has been flashed out as a clean entry not to be had at B. They decide that that's going to be their fake. Again, no movement from the 3 CTs over at A. The bomb is at the foot of the catwalk. 3 Ts have actually decided to fall a little bit further back, but they're all going to regroup up in mid, do a little high five, and actually move that bomb right the way back up banana. So Copenhagen Wolves probably a little dazed and confused at this moment in time.
A lot of damage, though, dealt on Smiths, and that early kill by Dupree, or late round kill by Dupree, but the first kill of the round is going to give a massive advantage to the Wolves. And look at this, Dupree now knows they're going to be attacking B, and he's going to be on a monster flank here if his teammates don't already clean up the side.
Yeah, Fetish goes big along with Zipnix, and the 3 of them. Oh, it's 3 frags for Zipnix. And that'll be that. Counter-terrorist win. Fetish just started firing the moment he got flashed, but fortunately, Zipnix had a little more sight for Copenhagen Wolves, and they are on 10 match points.
Yep, 15-5 for Copenhagen Wolves and
map points.
Map points, yes. My mistake.
My mistake.
Oh.
You're good. Oh. You're Lurpis. You don't make mistakes. Except in that prediction thread.
Yeah, there's a couple in there somewhere.
There you go. You see Fetish. The moment that flash came in,
Yeah.
it's like, ah, crap.
Just book it. 15-5, 10 map points, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a third map here in this quarterfinal.
Just what the neutral wanted. Zipnik's 2 frags for him. Copenhagen Wolves 3 frags away from going 1-1 against Verygames. And it'll be Assistance and Scream, who are the only ones who can hold Verygames back in this one. Reinforcements coming up Banana as well. They're going to try and sandwich them out. Scream says, no, 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 don't start to get cocky against us. And they will have to wait it out in the Banana walkway.
Not a lot going for Verygames. Existence gets a kill there on Zipnix, but they still need one more kill quickly.
They have made their way in towards that site, but the AWP from Nico is trained, and the AWP from Nico connects. Second frag for Nico. Oh, doesn't quite do it, but it's the last man that is Scream. He's only got 30 points of health. He's going to challenge Nico, and Nico's going to probably have to go no-scope here as he waits to get a bit of an angle. Misses his shot, but is helped out by Fetish. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to a third map. The Copenhagen Wolves rise as the team from France